Hey guys, this is Mr. Williams, and this video is meant to walk you through all of the steps you need to plot or to put points in your calculator, plot them, find the line of best fit, all of that stuff that you're going to need if you do a question like this at any point. I would like for you, if this is your first time doing this, to follow along with me and do everything that I do, as well as answer whatever questions I've given you on your on the sheet that I made to go with this. I also am going to leave this video on my channel as a reference for you guys and really for anybody who needs it to come back to as we keep doing this. So this is basically going to be 5 parts. The first part is just preparing your calculator. Something that you probably want to do if you are doing this for the very first time, and that's a good thing to know how to do in general, is clear the memory on your calculator. So we're going to do that by going to this memory menu. So I'm going to press second and then the plus key to take myself to the memory menu. Where it says reset, I can either scroll down to it using arrow keys or click the number 7. I want to reset it just to defaults. I'm just going to reset it back to defaults. If that doesn't clear up an issue, then you want to use that first option of all RAM. But I'm going to reset it just to defaults, press reset, and we're good to go. I'm going to clear this. The second thing we need to do to prep the calculator is what's called the diagnostic menu. For this one, I'm going to go to the catalog. I'm going to press second and then the 0 key down here at the bottom. And this right here indicates that the calculator is ready to receive a letter input, which I'm going to find in green. And I want the diagnostic menu, which starts with D. So I'm going to find this x to the -1 power button and press that. I'm going to keep heading down until I see diagnostic on. Press enter and press enter again. The first enter pulls it up in the main menu. The second enter actually executes the command. Now that this is done, as I go through more steps, I'm going to get more information, more very crucial information from what I do here. So that was part 1, just preparing the calculator. Part 2, we are looking at lists. We're going to actually put in the 2 lists that I'm going to have us follow along with, just as an example of this. For this, I'm going to press, not list, I'm going to press stat. And then I'm going to press 1 or the enter key for edit. List 1 is where I am right now. Next to it is list 2, list 3, and so on. So for list 1, I'm going to put in the numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. I would like you to put these in as well if you're in my class and you're following along with this example. Otherwise, just put in whatever your data is. Then over in list 2, I'm going to put in 12, then 11, then 9, then 6, then 6. What the calculator is going to be able to do now is read these as ordered pairs. With what specifically we are going to do here, it's going to read this as a point with an x of 1 and a y of 12, another point with an x of 3 and a y of 11, another point with an x of 5 and a y of 9, 7, 6, and then 9, 6. So now that we have our lists, now that we have our lists of data, part 3, we're going to actually find that line of best fit and get its equation. You can do second quit to get out of this menu and back to the main menu if you want to, or you can just press stat again. This time I'm going to go to the calculate menu. There's quite a few things I can do here, but what I want now is this linear regression AX plus B option. You're probably used to seeing MX plus B. This calculator shows AX plus B, but you'll kind of see what's going on here. Your calculators, your TI-84 plus calculators, do something very, very nice that will make at least one step of this easier for us. If I press enter, it doesn't do things immediately. It pulls up this little menu. Your X list, you want to make sure that's list 1. Your Y list, you want to make sure that's list 2. Frequency list, that is blank. We are not using that in Math 1. Where it says store the regression equation, this is going to be very, very helpful. If I do a sequence of buttons, I'm going to actually get this to appear in my Y1 menu so I don't have to type it in myself. I'm going to press the variables key. I'm going to go right to the Y variables menu where it says function. I'm going to press enter and then Y1. Now that all of this is set, if I press calculate, you see that it pulls up a few things. First thing it gives me is my slope of that line of best fit. Then it gives me my y-intercept. That's A and B. These two down here, first thing to note about them is that if you do not have your diagnostic on, if you haven't gone through that little series of commands, these two aren't going to show up, and they're pretty crucial. They're pretty useful, particularly this one down here, just the R. This is what we call the correlation coefficient. Basically, the closer this is to 1, the stronger the association or the stronger the correlation between our numbers. If you notice, this is like 97/100ths. That is about as close as you can get. We have a very strong correlation between those numbers. You'll also notice that both R and the slope of my line are negative. This number tells us if we have a positive correlation, whereas one variable goes up, the other one goes up, or a negative correlation, whereas one variable goes up, the other one goes down. Now, that's kind of the explanation of all of this, which means now we need to put things into our plot. We need to actually make that scatter plot with those points and the line of best fit. And there's a few things I need to do to check on that. First thing I want to do is make sure that y equals negative 0.85x plus 13.05 has successfully made it to the y equals menu, which it has. Second thing I need to do is turn the scatter plot feature on. That's going to be this blue menu that says stat plot. So I'm going to press second, then the y equals key to pull up the stat plot menu. I'm going to press enter. Where it says plot 1, I'm going to turn that on. There's a few types here. We're pretty much only going to use this first one that's currently flashing, which is the scatter plot. It's good to have your X list and your Y list be list 1 and list 2. And then the marking, I personally like to keep it as the little box. I think those are pretty distinctive. So now that all this is done, if I press graph, you'll see that, there's a little bit happening, but it's not quite everything I need. The calculator defaults to having your X values and your Y values go from -10 to +10. I'll show you how to get back to this in a bit. But what I want is to make sure that I can see everything that's going on in the scatter plot. So I'm going to press the zoom key. I'm going to keep going down. Option number 9 says zoom stat. Now when I press this, this is everything I need. You see part of quadrant 1. You see the 5 points that the calculator read as X, Y ordered pairs, from list 1 being the X numbers and list 2 being the Y numbers. And you see that line of best fit. And we can pretty much tell that this line is about as close as any line can get. In fact, it is mathematically as close as any line can get to showing what's going on with those 5 points and what their association is. You can see it has a negative slope, and you can kind of see the points are doing the same thing. So that is everything I need for this, which means part 5, we need to clean a couple of things up. First thing I want to do is reset the zoom. I'm going to basically go backwards from what I've done already. So I'm going to press zoom, and right here it says Z standard. If I press that, then my window just goes back to the X values and the Y values going from -10 to +10. Next thing I want to do is turn off the stat plot. Second, stat plot. If I press enter where it says plot 1, I'm going to go over and just turn this off. And now if I go back to the graph, I should only see the line of best fit. I just want to go to y equals and clear that. And now I just want to clear out the lists. Very, very important. Do not do anything with entire lists. Just do individual numbers. It will work very well if you find a number inside a list and just click delete until all the numbers are gone, hop over to the other list and do that. So this is kind of how you clean things up without having to fully reset your calculator. So that is everything we needed to cover with actually making a scatter plot in the calculator. Again, this video is going to be up for posterity so that y'all can use it whenever you need to. Good luck and thanks for working hard.